I had several students ask about making charts or graphs with this Chapter 6. And don't forget, Google is great for this. Okay, so there's how to create graphs, creating charts in ArcGIS Pro, which we don't have, pie charts, making charts and graphs. So it's kind of my first step is often to go to Google and see if there's a YouTube video on that. So, but I was playing around with that myself, so I'm going to show you how to use the ArcMap interface to make a histogram and to do a chart on a table. So if I open up the attribute table and I look at the population 2010 field and I do a statistics, you get this nice little frequency distribution, which is a histogram. And so what it's saying is basically in that range, and they don't really give you the range, it's pretty much a useless histogram, but anyway, in that data range there's probably 22 states that would fall in that data range, and here looks like maybe 10 or 11 states that would fall in that range. So you can see that it's a very uneven distribution. So there is a way, using the attribute table. If I go in here and I go to table options and I choose create a graph, it will let me choose the layer that I want, and then the field that I want to map is the population 210 field. And so this is just going to show a bar graph of every state by their population, and I chose to match with the layer. So you can see that you're going to let me do that? No, maybe if I close that. Okay, so it won't let me do that. Anyway, you can see that it's matching my colors on my map, and so that's pretty nice. I could choose to not add the legend, which makes me have a little bit bigger table. I can go over here to next, and then I can change the title of the graph. I can choose population. I could make that a real word, population 2010. At the bottom I could add state values or something like that if I wanted. You can choose a little 3D view, which I think is distracting. So you can choose a lot of different options here, and then when you're done, you have a map here that if I right click this, I can save it as a JPEG and then add it to my ArcMap. Oh, I guess I can't. Maybe it's export. Let's see if it's an export. Right click, export. Yeah, so I can export it as a JPEG and add it to my ArcMap. I'm assuming ArcMap will see the default. To do a histogram, you're just going to choose a different chart type. So here it's a vertical bar scale, but I can choose a histogram here. I can choose that population 210, and then I can choose the number of bins. And the one in the statistics histogram I think had 15 bins. So if I approximate that, it kind of has that look to it. I can't, because it's a histogram, I can't match it, the different bars to the colors, but I can choose color bars if I want. And then again, I have the option to change the titles and and finish it. So I'm going to go finish that one. And I'm going to right click here and I'm going to say export as a JPEG. I'm going to save that on my desktop and call it close that. I'm going to close this and close this. And when I go into my layout view, I can go up to insert a picture. Oh, let's see. Come on, where'd it go? Maybe I didn't put it on my desktop. Well, that's a bummer. Oh, it went to Documents. And I'm just going to put it here, and then I can resize it and put it in my map. And it does a fair job. So I'm going to go to 100% on my layout view. Take a picture of that, or take a look at that. It's okay, but you can see there's kind of weird lines in it. So with something like that, oh, that looks better. But the text is not great. So it's not the best option ever.